to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Total protonic reversal.
Protonic reversal.
Protonic Reversal with your host, Conan Neutron. Broadcasting from a secret underground lair in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
A gigantic middle finger to everything that is rock about music, rock and roll, and corporate power.
The thing is, though, if you don't laugh, you're going to go on a killing spree with sharpened nails.
Confidence of a hero or a fool. I wasn't exactly certain which.
Could not be more professional.
It means something. It means something. You know, that's my take on it. What's yours?
Protonic Reversal!
That's like a science thing, right?
Indeed it is. It is a science thing. It is a science place. It is a scientific fact that we are all up in your face. It is time once again for the one, the only Protonic Reversal. Welcome to it. November. Some stuff has happened, not the least of which is that I've been away from the show for a couple weeks. I think some other things happened too, but I think everybody knows all about that. Something that's happening right now, or not right now, a couple minutes, is Mr. Michael Crane's going to be on, and I'm very excited about that. Been wanting to do this for a while. Figured it out. Love when a plan comes together. But before I do any of that, before we talk to the man of Dead Cross, Retox, cunts, etc., welcome to Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. I'm your host, Conan Neutron. I'm a rock and roll lifer that's been touring and recording for 24 years, most known for the band Conan Neutron, The Secret Friends. Music is a huge part of my life, and I use the format of this very long-running podcast to talk about music with musicians whose work I enjoy and respect, but who may not be household names. This is episode 408. Now, if this is your first time listening to the show, archives of it are available for free. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding, at ProtonicReversal.com. However, if you want to support the show and get episodes sooner, $1 a month at Patreon.com/ProtonicReversal will achieve that goal. Now, if you like the show or even just a single episode, please feel free to like, subscribe on your platform of choice, share it around the internet, even leave a review. All that helps people discover the show. It beats back the almighty algorithmic overlords, and it's just a darn nice thing to do. So there you go. So this next fella come up here, is in a band called Cunts. No you as written anymore. And if you are alert listeners will know that old friend of the show and just old friend, Matt Kronk, plays in that band with them. They put out a great record called Thoughts and Prayers. And they also just got off the road. So let's, without any further ado, maybe a little ado, let's talk to Mr. Michael Crain. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, buddy?
You just got off the road with some High on Fire shows.
Yeah.
Relatively recently.
Yeah.
How was that? It seems like that was probably pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Those were great. Great. Just to get to see that band every night is great.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Let alone to open up for them.
I've seen them a bunch over the years, but I have still yet to see them with Cody.
I think Cody really breathed some new life into that band. I mean, his energy is insane.
That guy's a powerhouse. I mean, sorry, breaking news, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Cody Willis, great drummer.
Yeah. If you weren't sure.
Yeah, in case you're on the fence about that.
Just here to there's some empirical evidence out there.
No, and I love that too, and I like that. Cunts is definitely not whatever High on Fire is. It isn't that, right? It's like a different kind of thing, and there's an intensity to it, but it's a different kind of intensity. It presents differently. Were the crowds down for what you were delivering?
Yeah, it took them a minute at first. One song, we got them in one song.
Good, get them in one. We got them in one. That's all about.
You know, it was fucking great. And
sometimes you get the slow thaw where we're on song 4 or 5, like, all right, it's okay.
I mean, I've had a lot of different experiences opening.
Sometimes you never crack the code. You're like, well, all right, catch you later.
I've had that happen. I've definitely had that happen.
Yeah, where you're just like, well, we did everything we could, and it was not anything anyone was interested in, and there you go.
Yeah, I've played to a 1,200 cap room of people a full 1,200 cap room of people who were literally not clapping between songs and waiting for us to get out of the way of the headliner.
Oh, that's so rough. Yeah, that's what I always say is like, hey, by the way, we're in the way of everyone's favorite band, just so we're on the same page. Like that's what we're walking into. Like,
I mean, those experiences are typically pretty rare, but I said, I've had it happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? And you want to think you can convert everyone, but you can't. So all you can do is do what you do really well. But I think you guys have a really dynamic and interesting. Like you don't have to know the records to be like, oh wow, this kicks ass. You know, this is a fun show. There's like, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I try to write catchy, easy to nod your head to songs and cunts, but that particular experience was with Retox.
Retox was a little more not academic's the wrong word. A little harder to parse for the layman, I think.
Yeah, more noise punk, more artsy noise punk at times.
Well, why don't we? I got so many ways to go. Let's go back to Retox, because Retox is where you first came to my attention, and I think we had been around the same circles for like years before that, but just whatever. It's a big world, et cetera, ad infinitum. So tell me how Retox came together.
That was in 2000. I want to say 9. Wait, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9-ish.
Sounds
right. My first real band was Festival of Dead Deer that I did with me and Chris Hathwell from Moving Units, and that kind of really like set that world in motion for me. And then Hard Drugs took it away and stopped the motion for a very long time,
as it often does.
Yep. But back then, Justin Pearson was a huge fan of the band, so he put out our discography. Nice. We were too fucked up to really like record and tour like a real band.
Right.
So if you weren't there at that time to see us, you'd have missed it. But he had put us out and really championed the band. So,
which he's known for doing. He's a
absolutely.
It's like kind of like his whole brand identity proposition, right? He's championing weirdo bands.
And you know what? Kudos to him for that.
It's
for sure, man. If it wasn't for him, nobody would. Unless you were in Los Angeles back then, nobody would have remembered us.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bands nobody would know about if it wasn't for Justin.
Yeah. He's doing the work.
He is, dude. But anyway, so that's the time frame when I finally got clean and got off of hard drugs. So then it was, got my life together and back in the music world. And how did Retox start? Oh, Gabe Serbian was back up here in LA. He was living up here. And me and him and Scott Blows from 400 Blows, who's an old friend.
We used to play with him all the time. I know him well.
Yeah. Totally, dude. If you know Scott, you know Scott.
Well, yes.
Wow.
Enough said.
That motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
We could tell that. I got that guy's, there's some stories there. So we were all working together, and then I was doing another band, but then Gabe and Justin were like, let's do a band. We're like, okay, let's do it. Let's just do it. Yeah. And Gabe thought of the name Retox. And
good, short, succinct name, like that was just starting to be about the time where it was impossible to name a band.
Yeah, that was like 2009-ish, I think. And let me say this. I don't use the word genius very lightly. I've met a few in my lifetime, and they typically never live long. They have a hard time living in this world.
Yeah, okay.
Like their brains, they're hyper intelligent, hyper talented. They're almost not meant to be here very long.
And that's like torturous for the world that we live in. It's like, oh, wow, everything's moving slow and it's idiotic. Great.
So, but I would put Gabe Serbian in that realm of, he was otherworldly as a musician. He could sing and play guitar and write. He could do all that shit. And anyone who's ever seen The Locust or seen him play drums knows. but he also
It was like a meteor striking or something. It's like,
meteor.
what just happened?
Fucking meteor shower. Totally.
Like, oh my God.
But he also was really fucking funny. He's sharp. He was just he had that thing going on, but also, you know, really, really troubled too. But so he came up with that name right away, and we started writing songs right away. And then it was just like, phew, next thing you know, we're on tour. It was really fast. So that's how Retox started. It was really quick. Really, like, all of a sudden we were the band playing, getting all the tours, getting all the stuff. And that lasted a good while.
So you were coming at it with a very renewed passion because you're like, oh, hey, you know, living might be a good idea, and like while living, maybe you can do
oh my God, I'm not
music.
I'm not a junkie anymore. I'm not in jail. I'm still alive. Fucking A, I want to live.
Yeah,
and I miss playing music. So yeah, basically.
Yeah, and then it did kind of feel like Retox was like, oh, there's this band called Retox, and now they're everywhere, and now like you guys were hitting it really hard. It was like, oh, they're they're all over the place. You know,
we got all the accolades right away. Immediately, we were in Europe and the UK and all over. You know, with Mel Banana, Melvin's, Dillinger Escape Plan.
And you hadn't really toured that much before that band?
No. Yeah. So Festival of Dead Deer days, like I said, we did a West Coast swing, but then we were so messed up, we couldn't fucking get on the road anywhere. It was impossible.
Right. I mean, yeah.
So, and then and then it was really hard to hold together any kind of band or musical career at that point for a very long time until I got clean. So, yep.
Yeah. So did you just take to it like a duck to water immediately, or were there kind of growing pains with it? Like what was your,
what's that?
What was your take on touring in Retox for the audio listeners?
What was that, Conan?
Because people listen on audio podcasts too, so visual cues sometimes I have to narrate. I try to make it sound like Michael Attenborough or something, you know.
What was the last question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, did you take to it like a duck to water touring, or was there like a growth process with it, or what?
Yeah, for sure. So I had been traveling since childhood. My first memories were on the road. I had really young parents who were really out of control and dysfunctional. And I was constantly moving and driving across the United States and being put on planes and flying. So I had no problem. I loved it. I love the anonymity. I love the adventurous part.
Yeah.
I love all that. You know what I mean? Just not knowing and being out on the road. Like, it fucking rules.
Yeah. Where's home? Well, it's where I am. That's where home is.
Yeah.
And that's
that shit.
I feel like there's some people, and I'm trying not to generalize here, but they come from like, you know, very stable nuclear families or whatnot that sometimes they have a harder time with it. It's like, oh yeah, if you grew up in chaas and you know you're always running around different places, this is easy. Are you kidding me?
Everything makes sense. Everything makes sense when you're on the road. Yep. Where am I supposed to be
this has a routine.
Okay.
There's a thing where we're going to this place, we're gonna do this thing, and then afterwards we're gonna go to this other. Yeah, you know, it's like, there's a rhythm to it. Like, oh, that's great. What are you talking about?
Totally love that shit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then so you had the EP, then Ugly Animals, right? That was
yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we did the EP. We recorded it in fucking a day or a weekend.
True punk rock style, yeah.
Totally. Yeah. It sounds like it. Now that when I listen to it, I'm like, yeah. Ugh. Okay.
It sounds like, and I say this with peace and love in my heart. It sounds like, hey, we've recorded something so we can book shows, is what it sounds like to me.
Totally.
Like, you know, just like that. Hey, it sounds kind of a little bit like this.
Yep. It was something that we needed to tour on stuff.
Yeah.
And we had tours coming, so we were like, well, fuck. So yeah, that's exactly what it was. And then, and then we recorded Ugly Animals also in like, it was fast. It was so fast also. And then, God, what was after that? Oh, YPLL.
YPLL.
Yeah.
How is that like? How do you say that?
It's years of potential life lost. I guess it's some clinical term that
my.
Justin commandeered it. It's really good.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the one I know Nick did some guitar stuff on.
Oh yeah,
songs
Nick
on there
Zinner's
too,
on.
right? Yeah.
Is he on that one? Yeah.
I think it's that one.
That's right. Yeah, I fucking
check
forgot
my
about it. Dude, I haven't listened to it since we did it, honestly.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Well, and sit around and listen to your own discography. I mean, yeah.
Nah. And then what else was significant about that? I'm trying to remember back to that. Epitaph put that out.
I thought that was pretty significant. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah.
I think, you know what it was? It was because Brett was going to sign us in the beginning. He wanted to put out, he heard that song 30 Cents Shy of a Quarter.
Yeah.
Which is
Totally.
the song off of the first record, which is like the catchiest song we have for sure.
Sure.
It's very Dead Kennedys and very like, I get it.
It fits a little more into what we think of as the Epitaph thing, maybe,
Yes.
than some of the other stuff, the crazier stuff, right?
Exactly. Which I think is what he drew him to it.
Yeah.
But then so Ipecac put that out.
They're like, what's this grindcore stuff?
Yeah. Well, because he had put out The Locust.
Yeah.
So he knew.
He knew what he was getting.
Yes.
Exactly. He knew what the brand proposition was, I'm sure.
Yeah, which was, so it surprised me too that he wanted to put us out. I was like, okay. I mean,
yeah.
There was nothing on the label we fit with. There
Yeah.
was nobody we could really tour with. It didn't make sense. We did tours with other big punk bands and their fans were like, what the fuck? You know?
Right. Just
Again.
show up like a UFO sighting at every show. Like, oh, what was that?
Yep. They'd be like, oh, good energy. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Thanks.
Look, you guys are really having fun up there. Yeah.
You guys look like you were having so much fun. Yeah. That's always a good one.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Oh, so you hated it then, huh? Okay,
yeah.
great.
Or what's the other one? Oh, you guys are really tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Oh, yeah. It's so tight, man. Oh, yeah. You guys must practice a lot. Oh, okay.
You guys
great.
practice
Thanks,
a
man.
lot.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Funny side note. I remember once one of the last times I saw Quee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there was two guys in front of me watching, and they look. It was after a song, and they turned to each other and they go, "I bet these guys practice a lot."
That's fantastic. I love that.
I
That's
told
great.
Matt and Paul that after the show.
Man.
And it was like, damn, dude, that was fucking funny. Because anyways,
I got to sit in some peak prank phone calls when that was possible with Matt Kronk over various tours. Do I remember all the information that happened on the tours? Not really, but I remember the prank phone calls. He is a master.
Prank. He's really good.
Yeah, he like. I don't want to say he missed his calling because that's kind of rude, but it's like he is remarkably good at it. It's almost like, if you've been like born like a little bit earlier, you could have had like one of these, like jerky boys, like crank yankers, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, he's a huge jerky boy. That's
I know.
his thing.
Yeah.
He loves that stuff.
Yeah.
No, he's really funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really fucking funny, dude.
Yeah,
oh my god! Like in a band touring with him, dude, we laugh a lot. It's really fun in the van with that group of guys. It's so fun.
It definitely seems like everyone's on the same mission of let's
enjoy this.
Let's enjoy this and take all the absurdity of life and do the best we can to enjoy it, right? I mean, that's which you got to. Right? We're going to sit around and cry. Maybe that's what Morrissey's tour van is like. I don't know. Hey, trick question. He doesn't tour. He doesn't play shows. He kept canceling.
Oh, right. I mean,
is that even funny anymore? I think it's funny. I don't know. I mean, people still buy the tickets.
We'll see what Oasis does.
Yeah, exactly. It's another very stable unit.
I mean, but like with Morrissey, I get it. I mean, dude's got some fucking songs.
Oh, sure.
Those are anthems that people will be singing forever.
And they're almost like rolling the bones that the show's going to happen. It's like, all right, well, it's good. It's worth the risk to see if he shows up, and maybe hopefully doesn't go into some
wild
racist tirade. But whatever.
Sounds about right.
but back to Retox. So Beneath California, that's the
the last one.
The last one, right? So that's So how does tell me about that one, and then like tell me like about how kind of did it wind down, or was it more like okay, yeah, it kind of seemed like it sort of
we
petered out,
toured,
for lack of a better term, right?
We toured relentlessly,
Yeah,
and that last full tour was so long, and I remember it was so fucking cold everywhere. It was during February, and it was like we hit the polar vortex, and
oh man, yeah.
I think we played. I want to say we did 31 shows straight without a day off.
Yeah, that is indeed.
And then we went right to Europe, and then Russia.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
Dude, we were so fucking done. It was just like, and then, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like we were playing to bigger and bigger audiences.
Right. It's just basically staying the same, right? And then you're also like just running yourselves into the ground,
not making money. Like, it still turned into a punk band, and we toured, but the touring was so fucking relentless.
Yeah.
And,
no, because you did a lot. I mean, I remember, we mentioned some of them already, but like Melt Banana, right? But like, I remember you did stuff with Tomahawk, you did stuff with Off.
Yep.
Remember, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
Dillinger Escape Plan, I think, right? If I recall correctly.
And Trash Talk.
Yeah. And well, and again, that's the thing. Whenever I see a band that tours really hard, it's like, careful you don't burn out.
unless you're popping.
Oh, if you're popping, like lean
popping,
into it, man. Yeah,
that's
like
totally different. Then you have to do it.
Put your stuff in storage if you have to. I mean, Jesus
you
Christ.
ride the wave.
Because that, as we all know, or rather, I should say, as the people on this show know, like if it's happening, take advantage of it, because it may not ever happen again.
You have to absolutely grab a hold of that shit with everything you have, because it's really hard. It's really hard. But for Retox in the beginning, we were popping.
Right.
So we got all the stuff, and all of our shows were packed and wild. But then when we started just fucking going everywhere all the time, it was like, if you know what I mean, no one grabbed on.
Yeah, it didn't level up in a way that would have made it sustainable, right? And that's I hate to put that in reductive terms like that, but if you are dedicating that much of your life to doing it, then you're going to want to see that kind of growth, or you
got to pay the rent.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
You got to keep promoters happy. You got to keep getting invited back to places.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to burn bridges by hey, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, people are losing money.
Yeah.
If promoters are losing money, you're not coming back probably.
Yeah, so. They're more than likely not going to throw a show for you next time. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
No, but it's interesting, because I think that there was with Retox, like the initial. I mean, people love origins, right? They love like hearing about something at first, and especially now, it's like it's got to be new. Everything's new. It's like I think you guys became a much more interesting band, and like more kind of grew into your own thing later on. But it was sort of like, oh yeah, I know what that is. And it's like, well, do you though?
Yeah,
Have you
that's a
listened to
tough one. Yeah,
because I feel like there's artists that your Bruce Springsteens, or the Fall or something, where like, oh, this is this era of them, and then everyone else, like, nobody can be bothered to give a damn of any kind. It's like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what that is. Cool.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That can be really tough.
But I think that the last record's great. I think there's definitely clear growth. You guys all play really well together on that. Like, it's clear you guys are practicing a lot.
Yeah, the drummer and I predominantly just, man, if I could add up all the time I've spent in rehearsal spaces in my life,
oh man,
just alone or with one other dude.
Yeah, just sitting there like, how about this?
Jamming and jamming and jamming and writing. Most of my adult life has been in a rehearsal space, I think. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Are you? Do you record and listen back to stuff, or is it just like
now? So now having my own studio, and obviously technology's advanced, and it's really easy to have your own studio. Like Pro Tools is my best fucking friend. I can. So I grew up jamming with drummers. That's how I learned to play guitar, which I'm so grateful for.
Oh
That's
yeah, you'd end up
changed
being such a
my-
different player, right? I mean, if you didn't do
Dude.
that.
It's about riffs and hooks. It's not
Yeah.
about look how fast I can solo. Like
Here's
none
this.
of that
Oh,
shit.
yeah, exactly. Okay, great.
None of
Nobody
that
cares.
shit interests me.
Put the
No.
Chapman stick away, dude. Nobody
Yep.
cares.
I want to hear a song and a part.
Yeah.
But so, because my dad plays drums, so I would jam
word,
with my
okay.
dad, and just
That's
power
awesome.
chord riffing, man,
Yeah,
minor pentatonic, just fucking Sabbathy, like
Yeah, sure.
everything made sense. I was like, oh, I get it.
I think
get
you
it.
get kind of
Yeah.
almost a shortcut in musicology when the more time you spend playing with people early on, especially.
I agree, totally agree. I always tell fans or kids or whoever I've given lessons in the past, and I'm like, look, here's the best thing you can do: go play with people.
Yeah,
Right now.
absolutely. Yeah,
Go.
stop
Go
talking to
meet-
me. Go play
Yep.
people right now.
Don't
right
even
now.
do this.
Make something
Like,
crazy. It
literally.
doesn't have to be like the Klopman Diamond. You don't have to treat it as if it's going to go
No.
in the Smithsonian someday. Like, it's just go
Nope.
do it. Go do it right now.
Go
Yeah.
meet people, have experiences with human beings and emotions, and like go get on the road and get beat up and get your van stolen, have your band break up, fall in love. Go do that stuff as soon as possible,
Yeah.
because you will become a human. And
Yeah. And then, there are people that are just like those freaks of nature that somehow come
Yeah.
up with some amazing art out of a vacuum. But for the
For
rest of us,
sure.
it's like you probably aren't
Yeah.
going to make anything worth listening to, frankly.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
No shade, but
Nope. You gotta go. You gotta have some life experience.
you need those years, man. You got to have your dick kicked in the dirt or your mams,
Dude,
whatever. I'm not
totally.
saying- Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like where does great art come from? I know where it comes from me. I don't know about anybody else. I can only speak from my own experience. And it's like, I mean, the only reason I ever started playing and kept playing, honestly, and not to sound grim, but was to keep from self-destructing or killing myself.
Sure.
Like,
No, that's-
that's what it was for. That's what the guitar is for. That's what songs are for. Like,
I'm broke. Everything sucks. I hate everything and everybody, but I can do this, and let's see what I can do with this. And maybe I can do something cool. Hey, that was cool, and I feel 3% better about the state of everything. Great.
yeah, or you can write and express like, oh man, I'm really proud of this arc that I just created out of these sounds and words, and other people like it. Oh, now I feel connected to somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
a really good way to connect
It's amazing.
to the world.
It's amazing how much music can connect with people, especially when you like think, like, oh, no one's gonna be able to relate to this. This is so specific, and then like people are like, oh, I really relate to that. I'm like, oh, wow, that's the one, huh? Okay,
Absolutely.
cool.
But you know what? And then also this is huge too. It was a way to feel better. To feel
Oh, absolutely.
Connected to something. Like
Yeah.
all through my young, adolescent years and into the dark years of like hard drugs, and I could put on South of Heaven, for example, by myself, and just so loud and feel connected to a power greater than
Something.
myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it was like,
no, for sure.
they understand me and I understand them, and we're speaking the same language, and I feel okay.
You can transcend the moment and the location and feel connected to something greater than the shit and piss of the world around you.
Totally. And every box gets checked, and you're like, okay, I'm all right. I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
It's beautiful. Yeah. So tell me about Retox into Dead Cross, because I think that seemed to come together fairly quickly. I think Ross Robinson had... Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long time. I talked to JP about this, but this was like years ago. But if I remember right, he was like playing on like a demo as a session bassist or something along those lines.
So, they had just done not Blood Brothers recorded with Ross, and then the project that Gabe, Justin, Nick, Cody, and Jordan did. God, what's the name of it?
Is that Headwound City?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Headwound City. They did that record. They did it with Ross. And I went over there to Venice where his studio was, Ross's studio, and met him and said hi to the guys. And then anyway, so cut to later. This is when Retox was we were like, all right. I was like, I literally was like, I'm going back to school. Oh, because I can't tour like this and be poor. Like, this is too fucking hard,
Yeah. I mean, because touring, as great as it is work.
It's still work, and nothing's free. I mean, I still have to pay rent at home.
Right, exactly. All the bills are all due at the same time every month, no matter how many shows you play.
Those don't stop.
Turns out they want money the exact same time every month. Who knew?
Every month, yeah. No matter what I'm doing, they don't
sign up for that. But anyway,
So, Justin texts me. He's like, "So, what was it?" Justin texted me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to do a session, play with Dave Lombardo?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I do."
Someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
yes, the answer is yes.
And he's like, "All right, can you be here tomorrow or whatever?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be there, dude. Just tell me where."
Yeah.
And so what it was Dave's band. Dave has had a long relationship with Ross as well. You already knew him. And Dave's, at the time, his band Film that he was doing was going to record an LP with Ross. Ross was going to produce it. Dave's tenure in Slayer had just ended. And Film broke up last minute. They were done with each other. And so I think Dave was just like, Ross, I'm sorry, because he had booked Ross, for a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. Ross is a pretty in-demand, busy dude.
He could like write his own ticket pretty much, right? I mean, anything he wants to do.
Totally. Yeah. And so Ross was like, all right, Ross is like the sweetest guy. He's like, it's cool, man. Just, I'll tell you what, play on my friend's daughter's demo.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, fucking sure. Hey, dude, you got Dave Lombardo playing on your fucking demo?
Yeah, all right, sounds okay.
Okay. So I think Ross had mentioned to Justin. So Ross used Justin to play bass, Dave, and they're like, we need a guitarist, a ripper. They thought about Cody. Cody wasn't available, and they're like, what about that dude from Retox? He's gnarly. So then they got me. Or they asked for me, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll be there. And so the girl, her name is Poppy, and actually the song, she just put it out.
Oh,
years later. It literally just came out this, I think, Monday.
Oddly, wow. So that recently, huh? Okay.
Oddly enough, it was not put out. We did 4 or 5 songs, but she just put one out. I guess Angel Olsen put it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
So she just, at the time, dude, she was 15. 15.
Wow.
And we were like, okay, this is interesting. But she had good, she had good parts and really good voice and lyrics. And then we brought them to life,
Yeah. And did you ever do anything like that before? Like done like anything as a session player or anything?
Only a couple other times. I had to bring somebody's like black metal songs to life. And everything was tabbed out in Guitar Pro.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so I learned a lot. My technological abilities really ramped up. So I had to make it all music. So I got a Superior Drummer, and in Guitar Pro, you can do, if you either have tab, you can create MIDI, or if you have MIDI, it'll tab it for you.
So you can input or output them.
Cool. I inputted everything in and got all the drums, and I had to play every single solo, and it was fucking really complex, technical death metal.
Yeah.
So I had to do that once. That took a while. Like,
did you do a regular speed, or did you think Rick slow it down?
And some stuff I did have to slow down. for like because I can't really do sweep picking. I'm not a big.
Oh yeah. That's like a whole discipline in and of itself, right?
Yeah,
Not my.
But I had to do it, and I've just figured out a way to do it and kind of fake it in Pro Tools. Like,
one of
everything was to the grid, so I
exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So one of the most it ended up being cool, but one of the most kind of swear word inducing things I ever did was I did a ZZ Top cover with some friends and cheap sunglasses, and like Billy is just going. He's just going. He's doing the Billy, you know, just like, and I'm like, I'm sitting there charting it out like a scientist, you know, like, okay, it does this, then it does that, and it was just like, oh my god, this is so not in the spirit of how the original was done, because he was just like, I'm just playing, man, on my sevens. Dude. He plays sevens, Billy Gibbons. And I'm like, well, that explains why it sounds the way it does, which is great. Yeah. And I love ZZ Top, to be clear, but
yeah, I have had to learn people's stuff.
Yeah,
actually, a few times.
And sometimes the gear can kind of unlock that, or just something like, hey, Billy Gibbons plays on very light strings, right, or something, or like it's in this tuning, or like, oh my god, like, you know, that's the Rolling Stones went from like being like, I don't understand what that is, to be like, oh, this, are you kidding me? Great.
Yeah,
I got this.
I've had some difficult experiences doing that too. I tried out for Dillinger Escape Plan after that long Retox tour, and I went and stayed with Ben for a week or two. I was out there for a while, jamming with him and Billy.
Nice,
but I had to. I mean, that stuff was a little out of my wheelhouse for sure.
That stuff's on its own planet, dude. That's like in an alternate universe.
Learning those songs was really fucking challenging. Like that's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do musically. I mean, because it was just like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1.
Yeah, oh,
1,
it's
one,
like
one,
non-Euclidean geometry.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I was just like, dude, wow.
All those crazy drum patterns and stuff. Like, what is happening right now? What is this?
It's really hard.
It seems super confusing.
It's fucking hard, dude.
I mean, respect to those guys, and especially for like going as hard as they did, and like, you know, multiple iterations of the band, and you know, like,
they're incredible.
Yeah,
they're incredible. And then I also I played with Fiddler for their comeback last year.
Oh, okay, word, cool, nice. So very different style, but.
The exact
whatever, on the Matrix, if Dillinger Escape Plan is here, then Fiddler would be like there, right?
Complete opposite, dude. Oh man.
And to say that, I do not mean any part of that as an insult. It's like, no, those are just like, it's like political alignment or something, you know, like it's over here.
Like,
because it's all feel. It's all like,
it's all feel, man.
Attitude and feel.
And both those bands are so good.
Yeah,
what they do.
What they do is very absolutely.
Fiddler is incredible. Those songs are fucking so well written.
Yeah,
the guitar parts are so good, and I got to do all my own solos. I copied a lot of what was there, but like
that's exciting.
All that stuff made sense. Like that was all like minor pentatonic or the relative minor of all. It's all major scale stuff,
right?
But
you're not
surfy.
Like. You're not taking music theory books and putting them into a blender to figure it out. Yeah, no, it's kind of like I get it. No, I got it. I mean, I got it from the first song when I heard them. I'm like, oh, they're a band that does this. Great.
Yeah, and they're super good. And it's catchy. So like that was super fun to get to do that and learn their stuff. It's fun to have challenges and be forced to do new things. It's
push you out of your wheelhouse and
exactly. And you learn. You typically learn shit from it.
So you do the session with for this, and that's and again, then like that's kind of opening up some doors, right?
So I'm jamming with Dave, and I click, like I could lock in with them. I was like, oh yeah, I wasn't definitely not as proficient with thrash metal at the time because I hadn't been playing. I played that when I was 16, 17, and 18. But I hadn't been.
You're a grown man now, yeah.
Dude, I like the kick on the downbeat and the snare on the up. Like, if you're not doing that regularly, it's not as easy as you think.
Yeah.
To play tight on the kick.
Yeah.
And most guitarists don't realize that.
Or it doesn't work.
Especially, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because you fall off. really fast. And then next thing you know, you're missing the next part. You're either
Yep.
ahead or you're too far back. And it's like, oh wow, fuck dude, this is harder than I thought. And then
Right.
like all the down picking and palm muted down picking fast, like dude, that shit
That'll
takes practice.
That'll wreck your wrist if you're not ready for it, man.
Dude. It'll give you a whole new appreciation and respect for that, just like that
Sure.
style of music.
Absolutely.
As a guitarist who I can play a little, you know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
like you look at someone like James Hetfield, like bro, that motherfucker can play.
Yeah.
Those guys are so good. I don't think people realize it. Obviously you and me, other musicians.
Do. Yeah.
Holy shit. Like he's a down picking fucking machine.
Yeah, man.
That shit takes practice.
It
But anyway,
really
so
does.
Dave, I could lock in with Dave pretty good. Not as good with all the thrash shit. I had to really practice. And
Yeah.
this is a funny story. So, okay, so how Dead Cross happened was Dave, right there at that particular moment, didn't have a band.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, "Fuck, Dave, why don't we start a band?" And he's like, "You think so?" And he's
Yes, I do think so.
Yeah,
that
I
sounds
do.
great. That sounds okay. Yeah.
So, and then Ross was like, "That's a great idea. Why don't you guys start writing songs? Go." And so he's like, "You got homework." So we just started
Fantastic.
writing that first record, man. And so
That's great.
me, Justin, and
Gabe was
Dave.
so involved too
Yep.
early on, right?
So we needed a vocalist, and so so Dave had shows booked for film.
Oh wow.
And it was a band from Mexico City that flew in to do the dates with him.
Okay.
And so Dave felt really bad because the band broke up, and that band from Mexico had bought all their tickets, got all their shit.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So that was the other reason. It's like, well, why don't we put a band together? We can at least
get these guys a cool
they can still
tour.
play.
Yeah.
So that was the that was also the major motivation for that. And then we just started writing, and again with that record too, I can hear it, like those songs are kind of rushed. You can tell, like they're just, you know, they're not like super well thought out, you know.
It
Some of them
definitely
are, but
yeah. I mean, it's not that it sounds sloppy or anything. It definitely sounds fresh.
it's fresh. Good way of putting it. That's funny.
It's like when you like on the bakery line, it's like, oh, I got a donut that's just out of the
Yep.
you know,
Mhm.
there it is, still warm.
You're right. No, totally. That's it. So what happened next?
Well,
So
you guys
we-
started
we-
playing like almost
we
immediately,
started-
right? Yeah.
Immediately got shows, tours. I mean, fucking Dave Lombardo. It wasn't like it was.
Yeah.
You know,
It turns out it's easy
yeah,
to get shows when you when you get the drummer for Slayer.
no problem at all. Good ones too.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Like the
and-
drummer for a certain style of music.
Oh
Like
my
the-
God, dude.
You know. Who's also a great at other styles of music too, I should say.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, he's incredible. And jamming with that guy and writing with him and seeing him in action, like there's a reason Slayer was, and also like me being a huge Slayer fan, I
Display Slayer tattoo.
Oh, dude, I got every Slayer story out of him. I was so pumped,
That
dude. It
rules.
was so fascinating. But like,
I feel pretty good about the ones I just got on this show, so I can't even imagine like hanging out with that guy like a long term. You know, it's like that.
yeah,
It's
it's
got to be
incredible.
just the most
Incredible.
mundane thing. Will like, oh my God, how did I never hear that? That's amazing.
dude, but like really understanding, like, okay, I see what made Slayer Slayer. Like,
Right.
there's a few key elements for sure. Number one is Dave.
Yeah.
Number one, that Latin swing he has, a natural Latin swing. He's a Latin drummer. He's Cubano. Like, he has a Cuban feel to his playing. All that behind the beat shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, dude. Nobody was doing that really at that time in metal at all.
I actually think it's one of the reasons why that era of Slayer crosses over so nicely. Is that like
Yeah.
if you're not someone that's a notes per minute speed metal guy, like there is like a weird groove to it.
Slayer has groove.
And I think people forget about that all the time. It's like it's what makes that band interesting to me.
Absolutely. And like but he even told me, he's like, no, when Rick Rubin stepped in, he was hands on. I mean, you got it. That guy, you got to give him. He's a fucking visionary.
Turns out he's getting good at that music thing.
Rick and Andy Wallace, who also
no slouch there too.
Most people don't know who Andy Wallace is. Andy Wallace is responsible for the sound of those Slayer records, because nothing sounded like that,
or attempted to be ripped off many times over.
Absolutely, that with the tight production and everything in your face, all the drums right up front. Nobody was doing that, but Rick and Andy Wallace, according to Dave and Ross, like anyone who was around was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. They created a thing. But anyways,
so Dead Cross, Gabe's in the fold. You're doing shows like that December, right? Like that, like
Gabe had to step out. He had just gotten married, and did they have their first kid, him and his wife? I think so. Family life, and he's just like, I can't do it, you guys. And
life outside of music, it turns out, still continues. And so Dave was like, the record was done, and Dave was like, all right. He goes, let me see if Patton wants to do it. And we were like say what?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, all right.
And Patton, and then Patton was like, I'm super interested. He listened to the songs, and then we met up in LA, and Patton was like, dude, the songs are fucking catchy as shit. They're good. Yeah. And then,
well, and he hadn't really done a band exactly like that too.
No, yeah, he wasn't. It was just Faith No More at that time, I think, was the only.
I mean, like there's Phantomos, obviously, but Phantomos is its own entity.
That's
its own
that was all Mike.
Yeah,
Mike wrote everything for that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that.
No, dude. Yeah, that's fucking insane.
Yeah,
note for note.
Yeah, which is
Mike wrote out all that.
Pretty wild stuff.
Yeah.
But he hadn't done like not to be reductive, but he had never done like a thrash band before, like it was, or whatever Dead Cross is. Like he hadn't done anything quite like that.
Yeah, it's almost like gothy punk. There's my playing. I can't get away from myself.
Yeah,
like I still have, and then also, sorry, I'm moving the computer. And also Justin's synth-based sound,
which is super unique, and like it reminds me. There's a couple other bands, like Lardo, the band from Chicago. It's the same thing where it's like, oh, they would just sound like a, kind of shellac Jesus Lizard thing. But like, what is that guitar doing? It doesn't even sound like a guitar. It's like It's like got that bit commander kind of like.
That's it too. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was exactly the pedal he was using.
Yeah, and it makes it distinctive.
Yeah, very, very much so.
It's a strong spice.
But yeah, so Mike was super into it, dude. And he's like, as long as I can put it out, if Mike does something, Ipecac puts it out.
Right.
That's it. There's no deviating.
Yeah.
So I gotta say this too, like I've always known who Mike Patton was since I was a kid. With that first Faith No More.
It's hard not to at least be dimly aware of like, oh, that's that guy, right? Yeah.
Not to say like I was ever some massive fan. I knew of him and his, that he was huge or had a big fan club. But when he did that record, when he put his vocals on it, I was like, oh, wow.
Because I mean, as a vocalist, it's like there's very few people in that guy's caliber. Just from pure, range, composition, power, all of it.
No. He's better at vocals than I am at guitar.
Right.
He's better at his instrument than most people are at theirs. 1,000,000 times over. When he took that record and he gave it a third dimension.
Yeah.
Like completely changed the dimensional. It was a very two-dimensional record. Like the parts were cool, they flowed, and
sounds good.
Yeah. But dude, what he did, I was just like, what the fuck? That's the chorus. I didn't know that was going to be the chorus. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just hard to do.
A pleasant surprise musically, which is
absolutely, yeah,
always welcome.
So yeah, then. And again, the other interesting experience I had with Dead Cross was those shows, of course, like, you know, just it was like whatever you want to do, we got to do. And
Yeah.
the big stage, here you go, you know, yes, you get to do all that stuff. And like, but I had no idea how much of a fan club that guy had. Like, he has a cult.
Oh yeah.
Around the world,
yes.
especially if you get into Latin countries. We had to
yeah.
have security take us to the airport in Mexico. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, he is a god. And
yeah,
it's a trip, dude. Anyways, it was, regardless, like, being in a band with them and touring with them and with Dave, like, those guys are so cool and down to earth, and like, they're just rad dudes.
Right. They would have any right to be like conceited or like arrogant or whatever. And you'd be like, all right, well, whatever. But look at what they did. But yeah, oh no. I mean, I've hung with Patton Social a little bit at like shit. Like I saw me and him were at the same Melt Banana show with like 8 people in like the late 90s.
Where was that at? San Francisco,
the Tip Top, I think, if I remember right.
Patton loves Melt Banana.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Loves them.
And you know, like whatever.
Rightfully so.
They're fucking amazing, of course.
Jesus Christ, dude.
But yeah, I mean, that dude's just a, you know, deep, voracious appreciator of good and weird music too.
Yep.
You know, and
100%, dude. His musicality is fucking. I'm not even near. You know what I mean? Like, I like to fancy myself. Like, okay, I'm all right. I can find my way through a song and a guitar part. But like, when you're in the room with certain people, you're like, okay, I'm not.
Well, and the key is you just, you know, it's not like you're actually, you know, like people have trading cards out and they're comparing power rankings or anything along those lines. You're going to do the thing that you're going to do, and you're going to do it well.
Yeah. I love to learn. I just like to learn from people like that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
from Ross, I learned so much about writing from that guy and arranging. But wow. You know?
Yeah.
I love getting to hang with people like that and just picking their brains and see, you know, like, it's really a gift. Like, it's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, just it's like we can just osmosis something up and be like, oh, that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
You know, right on.
Wow, your brain just came up with that. What
okay.
the fuck?
Pretty good.
That's not. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's not a chorus. That's a pre-chorus.
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah. Interesting.
Light bulbs. Totally, man.
So Patton comes in and records the lyrics for the record and adds a different dimension to it, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And so is there ever any thought of just being like, oh, this is just like, we're just going to do this and then it's over? Or was it like, oh, it looks like we got something good here, boys. Let's ride this.
So we did the first record. We toured the States.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we did a couple fly-ins. I don't remember. Mexico City and stuff. And then we had for 2000, that was 2017. 2018, we had the festival season in Europe. We did all the festivals. And so we wrote the EP. I mean, I'm always writing, and then Dave would come, and it's really easy to come up with some material. So we recorded that EP. And so that came out so we could kind of tour Europe on it in 2018, summer of 2018. And then 2019, early on, I figured, into 2019, I got diagnosed with cancer. So that really I was like, oh, fuck, all right. I'm going to not be doing anything for a little while. I got to try to stay alive. So I had to do treatments and
what was the process for that discovery? I mean, to just do regular checkups and
no, I had a lump. I found I had a lump. Boy. And so I had throat, it was in my tonsils, but it was like throat cancer. So surgeries and chemo and radiation, I had to do the whole thing, and it was really super brutal. But so we had material written again, just, parts and riffs and loose skeletons of songs.
Constituent parts. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And then cancer happened. I finished treatments in around Thanksgiving of 2019. And I was talking to Greg from Ipecac, and he's like, hey, what? He's like, fuck, you survived. Like, you're alive.
Yeah, what are you going to do now?
What do you want? And I was like, I want to record another record.
Yeah.
Like, book it now. He's like, okay. So, boom, they booked fucking studio time for the following month. Not even weeks, dude, literally weeks later after I finished treatments, I was still so fucking sick. I detoxed from all the opiates and shit, cold turkey, while we were recording. I was fucking in pain every day. I was sweating.
Yeah.
I couldn't eat yet. Eating was really hard. It was so wild, dude. It was really fucked up. But I remember I wanted to live and I wanted to make music so bad. And I was like, I don't fucking care. But, so we did the second record, the second LP.
The one is just the 2, right? Like in the grand tradition of Led Zeppelin and such. Yeah.
Totally. And before that, I should say this.
There's a Black Flag cover you did too. What?
That was later. That was so the first Cunts record.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Literally how I know you, yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that band.
Yeah. We did Cunts.
That was like 2019. The first record came out.
That was before Cancer. We finished the record. During Cancer, it came out. So we weren't even able to really play shows on it yet.
I remember because I was a big fan of that record. I put it on the year and best of list and all that.
Oh, rad. Thank you, man. That was a fun record.
And I told a lot of people, like, look, I know the name's a lot. Just listen to the record. You'll like it.
Dude, totally. It's so true. Oh, my God. Yeah. We really pushed it with that one. That came out. Okay, so Cancer, Dead Cross, record. So we finished recording in January of 2020. Mm-hmm. February, we got to tour with Melvins and Mr. Bungle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dream come true. The shows were fucking incredible. Any show you get to play with the Melvins is going to be good. I can just say that with absolute certainty because I've done it in several different bands now. It's a gift.
They're an institution.
Absolutely. Rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
We do that tour in February. Mm-hmm. March rolls around.
Did something happen around that? I can't remember.
Dude, I remember we were doing a project. Me, Justin, Nick Zinner, and this Greg Fox. So these guys from New York. And it was a thrash project. And we were recording in March.
Yeah.
And I started to feel really sick, like fast. And I was like, what the I am so tired. And they're like, man, something's happening, dude. Like everyone's shows are getting canceled. They're like, dude, all my South by Southwest shit is canceled. Everything's canceled. And I felt better the next day, but I was really lethargic and I couldn't smell or taste anything.
Yes.
I was like, what the fuck? So I got COVID the week of lockdown.
Right.
And then so COVID happened and then
Can I tell you? Yeah. We played Texas. We played No Coast in February. It was like Chat House third show too, by the way.
Wow.
And great, good time. And then it was I definitly had we're not playing this day. Cool. I'm gonna go hard. Like the owner of the brewery really likes me and is giving me free beer. Great.
Yeah.
And then we did and we played it in their show with Tongue Party in Austin afterwards. Nobody knew anything yet. This is still late February. But when I got back, I was like, oh, I got a post-tour cold. That sucks. I feel like that happens a lot. It's just sort of like the nature, you're not sleeping a lot. You're usually not eating right.
No, for sure.
I didn't think too much of it. But then it's like on the fourth day where I was like, this doesn't feel right. I think I might go to a doctor if I feel this bad
different.
The next day. It hit me different. And I felt like I got my ass kicked to put it bluntly. And I was like,
that's how I felt too.
And nobody, and like I hit up like somebody else that I knew was down there. I was like, hey, did you get sick? I was like, oh yeah, I've been like laid out for like 4 days. I'm like, oh my God, me too. And then like a week later, and it was like, okay. I think I know what was happening, but they didn't even, at least within the U.S. in punk rock festival terms, nobody knew.
Nobody knew anything.
No.
And also on that Melvin's tour, everyone got really fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
When we got to the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Which made sense.
Yeah, of course.
So the demographic and that was also.
We got through two shows of our tour. It was a whole 2-week tour. We got through 2 of them, and yeah.
Yep.
Governor of Minnesota announcing everyone should stay home. I'm like, oh, okay, that's gonna be great. That's what it would. We didn't. Nobody understood the scope and scale. Everyone thinks they did at the time. They didn't. Sorry.
No,
I was there.
I agree. So then, COVID.
So COVID hits. You got so many plans, so many cool things happening.
Mike finally finished the lyrics, the vocals to Dead Cross 2 in that time. Way later, it took a long time for him to get around to doing it. We haven't played a show since. I think the last show we played, Dead Cross, was in 2018. The record came out. We haven't played a show for it. We were supposed to. I was just texting with the band yesterday, actually, with those guys, and we'll always just chit chat about stupid shit, But
sure.
I don't know. Someday we will. And
it seems like Mike's getting back into the habit of playing live again and finding a way.
Yeah, to with him, he doesn't want to tour, and I don't blame him. Yeah, he doesn't have to. He did, dude. I spoke about this before, and I'll speak about this again. This really gave me the perspective I needed at the time. We were on that tour in 2018 in Europe, and there was a picture. It was a picture of him, and it was a picture of him at that festival 30 fucking years before, in the same field with all the buses where all the buses park, and you get a runner to take you to catering, or
get the golf cart or whatever.
Exactly. And I was like, and he was super young, and and I was like, I get it, man. This dude doesn't want to sit in a field on a bus ever. He's done it. Him and Dave both. They've done it for so long, and
I do get it when people are just like, that's it.
No,
that's it. And I think when I was younger, I didn't, but now I'm like, no, I get it.
Yeah.
Especially when you got to set up. Like how Mark Brothers is the same way, where it's I can just do whatever I want anytime I want to. I don't need that.
Completely different world, those guys. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, and respect, it's sometimes you can be built for it, and then you're just not built for it one day. And it's or other things are more important, and that's fine too. It's
being home with your dogs, number one.
Right.
If you have children, I get it, man. It's dude, I want to be fucking home. But also, touring at that level, and also with Fiddler too. They're a big fucking band.
Yeah.
They do real well.
Yeah.
And it depends
fun show. People like going to fun shows, I hear.
Yep. Sold out. Literally every show I played with them was sold out. Every single show, That's
awesome. Yeah.
Some of those rooms were pretty massive, and I get it. It's when you touring at it depends on the level. When you have your own 4-star hotel room and a tour bus, and you're getting it's a lot easier to fucking do stuff.
Yeah, you're not jamming 4 dudes into a Motel 6.
But as you and I know, because we just did it together.
Yeah, may have just done it. Yeah, exactly. The glamour. Oh, the glamour and the glory.
Bro, we still joke about that Cincinnati show. Yep. Dude, you know what? Conan, it happens still to everyone. Unless you're at the very top, shit still happens to everybody.
Yeah, and it's I absolutely see when people are just like, I'm out. I'm like, I get it.
Bro.
Any
I'm going
sane
home.
person would be. Like I understand. I fully get it.
Dude,
Absolutely, man. It's dire.
Dude. Yeah, when you drive fucking like 500 plus miles in a day to get to a show to hurry, and you got to take a shit and you're starving and you want some coffee and you load up at fucking flights of stairs and then there's nobody there or the show gets canceled or whatever, fill in the blank. That's when you figure out what you're made of.
The nadir of this, and this was a Replicator Tales, this was like mid-20s, but we started off the day in Indianapolis and we drove, with Philadelphia traffic, 11 hours to Wilmington, Delaware to load into a venue that had a door that was the shape of a clown's mouth to play immediately to 12 halfway interested people, maybe.
Hey,
and it was like, yep, this is what I've chosen to do with my life. All right. Oh, and it was Chris's birthday too. I forgot about that important tidbit.
Happy birthday, motherfucker. Dude, in Retox, we did a lot of all night drives. We didn't want to take days off. So we did a lot of all night drives. I always take first shift because I like nighttime. So I'll drive into like 3-4 in the morning before the sun comes up, then hand it off to somebody else.
I can't do it anymore. Those fluorescent headlights are just like they murder me. But it's just such an old person thing to say. Oh, a fluorescent headlight. But they're right on the surface of the fucking sun, and they like blind you, But I used to like it.
I still do.
We
did it in the summer. We did it in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, we did we played in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and then the next night we had to play in Providence.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It was rad too. Both shows were great.
I mean, if it works, it works. I like it when it's like deserted, but when it's like just blinding semis.
Oh yeah, that's not as fun.
Tires me out.
I like the country.
Oh, you're in the country. Psh, great mountains, desert, and any arid area.
Dude,
great.
Yeah, the desert. Yeah, listen to Coast to Coast talk about UFOs and ghosts. Oh my god, with your friends.
Fuck yeah, wouldn't get much better than that. You kidding me?
Drink coffee, get beef jerky.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the best shit ever. It's the best. The best. Yep. Only band guys would understand that shit. I feel
which, believe it or not, there's a couple, 2 or 3 that do listen to this show. So
I know.
Tell me how Cunts came together, because I think I got the story from Matt. I'm pretty sure, well, like way back when, but I want to hear your side of it.
No, it was like
that makes it sound like you're like in court or something. But yeah,
no, it was all. If I'm being honest, all of us AA recovery friends. We were just
texting
each other, and we were all playing bands, and and I who said it? Maybe one of the guys who wasn't in the band anymore, or me. I don't remember, but I was just like, hey, why don't we just start a band? This is funny.
Yeah, right.
Like, okay, let's just. Who cares?
Yeah, let's do it.
And then that was it. How simple.
It's easy as that.
That was it. We all had studios already. We're all in other bands. It's just like, let's just fucking write some fucking stupid punk, fast part songs, and that was it.
Yeah, and
that's simple.
You got to do it for a little while before the cancer and the world shut down. Before Kronk had his whole thing, which is a whole.
Yeah.
Dude, when I saw that guy, and he's like, I can't sing anymore. I'm like, what? What does that even mean? He's like, no, I physically can't sing anymore. I'm like, what?
That was crazy, man.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Yeah, because for those who don't know, like, Matt can actually sing and play really fucking well.
Oh, yeah,
he's
absolutely.
a musician. He can. I can't do all that, but he can. And Paul too from Kui. Like those
Paul's
guys are professionally trained musicians and academically, and that is not my experience with music.
All respect, but we're at the lunch table goofing off while you guys are doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was wild.
I mean, so I hear, but
But yeah, so he got it back, and then we just hit it hard, put that record together, and that's it, dude. Same shit, doing another one already. I'm gonna go to the studio right now and finish arranging these new songs and just trying to keep the bills paid while making art. That's really it. It's that simple. Keeping my dogs alive as long as I can, keeping me alive as long as I can.
Yeah.
Trying to play better shows like any realistic, logical musician would. Like,
right.
You want to aspire to better, and like as long as you can, having been at higher levels before, and like it is possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
100%.
And sometimes, and people hate to hear this, sometimes it is just luck too.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, if you're ready, when like the lucky thing happens, and also you can make your own luck as well, but not always.
Not always. I agree completely. When you put it out into the universe, chances are it'll come back. You got to put the work in. You got to bleed and sweat and cry and fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
how bad do you want it?
Exactly. And then if you love it, you just keep doing it and you stay out of the results the best you can. But we're only human, and it's hard to stay out of the results because, you know what I mean? Like there is only so many spots on a big tour. You can't bring all your friends and all their bands. You know what I mean? That's
why I was impressed when Red Fang would bring out. It's like, how are you doing this? Like, it's like a freaking Rolling Thunder review. There's like 5 bands on this
package tours.
That's
the way to do it.
And I was like, good. And good for them for doing it. And it makes sense because if you think about even pre-party time and stuff, like I was a big Last of the Juanitas fan.
Oh yeah, that shit was great.
And I saw Brian Giles. And I saw them play in a kitchen in Oakland, like me and like 15 other people. And I'm pretty sure I was the only person who knew the hell they were. And I was like, you're in a kitchen and you're playing like these incredible like songs, these like mind-bending guitar riffs.
Where do I find that stuff, dude? Is that streaming anywhere? Last of the Juanitas?
There's one. The first record is on all the streamers, but the rest of them, Vantage USA put them on. I think they're on Bandcamp, he said authoritatively.
God, for people out there listening who don't know, like that shit was
really good. Like
really fucking good, man.
Well, it was great to hear when I had Aaron on. He was talking about how that one of the things that Giles would show up with a riff and it'd be like a total crazy Brian Giles riff, and he'd be like, okay, now just do the first 6 notes of that. Instead of like the crazy, like weird prog Juanitas thing at the end of it. And like, that was like their thing. It's like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Cause I mean, Red Fang's great, but it's like, it's amazing. It's like, it's big, heavy rock, but it's not dumb too.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's so interesting. By the way, there's it's juanitas.bandcamp.com, and Time's Up and In the Dirt are on there.
Okay.
And I think Brangus is on, I don't know, somewhere else. It should be on the streamers.
I'll check it out.
Goes, but
that shit was fucking badass, man.
Oh yeah, but I swear, every time I don't think I ever saw them with more than 20 people in the crowd, myself inclusive.
Yeah, no, for sure. Same. I saw him,
and I always be like, this band's so good. How is this band this good? And like, there's nobody here. And then I would like try to enlist people next time. They're like, I'm doing something. I'm like, okay, fine.
Dude, you can't make people do things they don't want to do. And
That's
it's
true.
hard with bands. Like the buzz goes really far. If people are gravitating, if something's popping, you know what I mean? That you don't have to do any work. It'll get done for you. But like,
Sexy Sax Man from Lost Boys did a show in Milwaukee recently, and people are like, oh, you're gonna go see Tim Capello, whatever. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, it's the sax guy from Lost Boys. I'm like, oh, probably not, but I mean, I'm going to this other show, but I have a good time.
Did people go?
Fucking apparently it sold out. I was like, okay, good for that.
There you go.
Bro. Still eating off of that song from 30 years ago or whatever.
Good for him.
Yeah, fucking A. Apparently, they're like, yeah, he's still in really good shape, too. I'm like, good for that guy.
It's good for him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, some of the best shows I've ever seen. And some of the shows that changed my life were in coffee shops.
Oh, sure.
To
Absolutely.
50 people. And I was just like...
Yeah, and somebody like drops a grenade. You're like, what the hell just happened? I have no idea.
Just a brain bomb.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
100%, man. all the first times I saw Unwound, Carp, Klikatatakatawi, Godhead Silo, Steel Pole Bathtub.
Yeah.
Like I could, all the noisy guitar stuff, just Brainiac. So, saw them with 50 people, and like, dude, those bands were fucking tapped in and doing shit that nobody was doing.
And what's cool now is that there is the ability for people to discover that stuff that maybe are not as in the loop to be in those rooms.
Yep.
Of course, the downside is that it's just it's
different,
a fire hose of information and entertainment coming at you the entire time. So that's the other side of it.
Yep. But you didn't have to. I mean, back then we had to go. You had to physically know about it, hear about it, find someone to go with, search it out, go to the record store. They tell you got to get to the show.
Yeah. Catch
the band, and your life changed.
Yeah, and then you're off to the races. But it's like it's almost like sometimes like, how did I end up at that? Like I don't even remember. Like it's like, oh, I heard that so and so is gonna be. Oh, okay, cool. Oh my God, this band's amazing, crazy. And I imagine that's still happening. We don't know anything about it, but
it is. It does still happen. It's different, but it does. It absolutely still happens. Yeah, and
I think it's easier to do things almost extemporaneously now too, just because we have these communication tools that allow for that stuff to just disseminate very quickly.
Now it's here.
Yeah, I know, and I hate that.
Right here.
I'm sorry. I it's like I was just talking about. You know what? I'll light them up because I ain't gonna listen to this. They're on tour right now. But like it's amazing to me that John Wright is the most plugged in member of Dead Bob, who is not very plugged in, to be clear. But like all the rest of them, it's like they're not on any social media. They seem to be living a great life without it, and it's like
fucking A, man.
That seems so great.
Doesn't it though? Dude.
And they're all just like they're the most awesome people. Every one of them has like a catalog of like 3 books of stories of cool stuff. Like, but they're just like that's not how they're choosing to engage. And like,
I love that shit, man.
That's so great. And they rip. They absolutely rip.
Oh yeah, bro.
It's
Jesus Christ.
It's like
I can't play like that's a whole different. Anyone who if anybody is familiar with No Means No, or pull up a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? Listen to that. What's the record? Wrong.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. First time I heard that, I was like, what? Wait a minute.
what is happening?
Is this
right
a joke?
Now? Yeah.
These motherfuckers.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see. And Dead Bob has its own thing going on, but it's awesome to see that sort of torch continued to be carried forward.
Yeah.
And like they'll bust loose some No Means No songs, and that's incredible to, like, for people to be able to like see their favorite band songs live again. That's amazing. And they're a great band on their own, but it's also I'm just jealous of their offline-ness, I guess.
Good.
I'm like I could do that. I'm like, no, I can't. How can I do that?
I thought about it. No, you can't. We can't. But
no.
I definitely think about going to the country, or
it sounds amazing,
with my dogs.
And where did he go? Oh, I don't know. Last time he was going that way. Last time I saw him.
I went over there. Like my music and
deactivated all his social media. I don't know what happened to him. Yeah, maybe seemed happy though. Seemed real happy.
Yeah. It is really entertaining, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I think you guys as a band too, concept I'm talking about now, like you have a good, you're finding ways to lean into everyone's sort of natural elements to make something entertaining.
We do have a lot of fun. We do a lot of stupid shit. Yeah. Because dude, you know what I mean? Like I've taken myself seriously before in life and in artistic endeavors. And it's like, I'm 50. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not serious. I'm a fucking dork. I have AC/DC tattooed on my head. Like you know what I mean? I like to be like, and that band, everyone's so funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, everyone's like a natural comedian almost.
Totally. And you have so much downtime on tour. It's like we just think of funny shit. And it's like, and now with this, you can, and like the apps, you
Turn
can
into
make
reality.
high quality, funny shit like pretty quickly.
Like I remember one of my highlights was the Chicago dog experience. That was amazing. I love
funny,
that.
dude.
That was great.
Yeah, that was a good
roll
one.
up with in your stocking masks, and just get relentlessly ball busted by that woman.
That was a good time.
She was just lighting it up too, man. It was I was like, damn, she's going hard.
That was a good time. I really appreciated how hard she went on us. It's on our Instagram for anyone who wants to see it.
Yeah, it's an all-timer. It's an all-timer of like, which is, you know, as you well know, stuff like that happens on tour all the time. And the only difference now is, you can document it now, rather than like, you won't believe what just happened. You know,
dude, totally, absolutely, yep.
And I think you guys, it's a good way to. I think you guys see it as a good example of this is a way to do it's entertaining. That doesn't seem like it's draining your soul.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is key.
Yep.
It does suck that we've so surrendered to the algorithm that you have to fool it by basically making like a sketch comedy show on your phone.
Dude, I know. Especially for a band. It's like,
I know. It's
kind of just want to make music, but we can make funny shit too. But it's forced you to really do a lot of things differently. But, hey, what are you going to do?
Whoopi Goldberg movie, Sister Act or Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. Make your opinion heard.
Good. Yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
And you know what? It fucking worked.
It worked. Totally worked. Well,
awesome,
shit, man.
Dude, it's been so great having you. Thanks so
really
much for
you.
coming on the show. I know we're both busy fellas, so it was a lot of not mishaps would be overstating it, but a lot of
scheduling conflicts.
Scheduling conflicts. We had your people contacted my people. We made it happen. What's coming up in your world? You got you said you dropped. There's more cunt stuff coming. Yeah,
and then we'll start. We have a bunch of shows starting in not until February, January, February, March. So we're just writing, chilling, and writing and experimenting.
Making up for lost time for that band. I mean, you almost like had like a lost 4 years.
We did. You're right. That was weird. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to hear it. Always.
Likewise, man. Fuck yeah. I'm a fan of yours too.
Yeah, there's more coming, man. It's
cool.
I was about to make like a real mean post about like, are you really going to like hibernate for the year and write new material? Please tell me more. Because like everybody makes that. It's fucking December. Like, what do you? Unless you're touring Australia, what exactly do you think you're doing? Like, it's.
Yeah, no.
Then I was like, that's cynical. I shouldn't say that. That's mean.
Yeah. It's better just to. I don't see. Yeah.
But I also saw 5 of those posts in a row, and I almost flipped out. I'm like, okay, I get it.
What were they saying? Like,
we're hibernating for the year so we can write new material. Okay, great. What do you want? A cookie? Good for you. I mean. Like it's I don't know.
It's funny.
I don't know.
I get it.
I also get mad when people like celebrate Halloween. It's like a week before Halloween. It's like it's unless it's Halloween week, not a bad idea. Halloween is October 31st. What you're doing is like Halloween observed. And then I just decided I'm not going to get mad about that anymore because it's a waste of time and nobody cares. I don't even care.
Fuck it. Let it go.
Halloween observed is fine. So cunt stuff coming up next year. Anything else to drop?
No. My dryer is done.
I was going to say your vibrator's going off. So cool. Well, last thing you've heard the show. It's the only thing I ask is ever a canned question. So you can choose to interpret it however you like. But why do you do what you do?
I don't know what I would do without it. I don't know how to live without it.
That's fair.
I don't know how to live not doing it.
Michael Crain.
That's it.
It's been a pleasure, sir.
You too, brother.
Take care. See you down the road, man.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, bye. There he goes. Michael Crain. Cunts, Dead Cross, Retox, so much more. Love that dude. It's been a long time coming for that. Let's hear something off of the Thoughts and Prayers record. This is let's just title track. There you go. Well, thoughts and prayers for you. Oh, thoughts and prayers for you. By Concept, the record, Thoughts and Prayers. And that was Michael Crain. Awesome dude. Great dude. Retox, Dead Cross, Cunts. Yeah. Cool. I'd like to thank him for being on the show. Of course, the name of the show is Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. Thank you so very much for listening to it. The show airs generally Thursdays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. Streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Podcasted later everywhere. If you want to get episodes sooner, $1 a month. Patreon.com/Protonic Reversal will gladly achieve that goal. Helps keep the lights on in this here studio. So much appreciated for those that do that. Otherwise, always free, no ads, no sponsors, no kidding. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe, like on your platform of choice. Comment, share, leave a review. All that helps people discover the show. It's just a very nice thing to do. So thank you for folks that do that. What do we got coming up? Oh, Jamie Stillman from Earthquaker Devices, Inherit the Spy, and Party of Helicopters. He's coming up. Jim Kimball, Laughing Hyenas, Ghost Forest, Jesus Lizard. That's coming up. There's all kinds of stuff coming up. Just stay tuned. Oh, yeah, best of the year, I guess. I guess it's almost December, isn't it? Wow. Anything else? Oh, yeah. Thanks, everyone, for coming up and talking about the show. When I'm on tour, I always like that. That makes me happy. Glad to meet folks in person. Maybe we'll do some merch. I don't know. Keep talking about it. Still want to end up with a bunch of Protonic Reversal t-shirts. Anyway, stay safe out there.
Can you hear me now?
And take it easy.
Out on
Get you later.
128, dark and lonely. I got my radio on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Welcome to my top 10. I'd like to thank our sponsor. But we haven't got a sponsor. Not if you were the last man on earth. She was prepared to prove it. This one goes out to a special girl. But there is no special girl. It's the end of radio. The last announcer plays the last record. The last what? Leaves the transmitter. Circles the globe in search of a listener. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me really broadcasting if there's no one there to receive? It's the end of radio. As we come to the close of our broadcast day, got my radio on. Can you hear me now? This is a test! If this had been a real emergency,